Did you ever lie awake at night wondering about everything? Like, what is reality truly? What does it mean to be good? Or how do we know anything at all? For thousands of years, the greatest minds have explored these very questions, and their answers form a hidden map to understanding ourselves and the universe. But where do you even begin to navigate something so vast? Today, we're taking a deep dive into something incredibly foundational, yet often misunderstood: the core branches of philosophy. You might think philosophy is just about abstract ideas, but it's actually the very blueprint of how we think, question, and understand the world around us. The ancient Greeks started it, and philosophers ever since have carved out distinct paths to tackle life's biggest mysteries. In this video, we'll unpack the major branches of philosophy, from the nature of reality to how we think, speak, and govern ourselves. By the end, you won't just know their names, you'll understand the fundamental questions they ask, and perhaps even recognize how you've been a philosopher all along without even realizing it. So let's break down this intellectual tree branch by branch. We'll start with the foundational five and then explore five more crucial areas. First up, we have metaphysics. Now, this might sound intimidating, but it's really asking the biggest, boldest questions about existence itself. Ever wonder what reality is? Is it just what we perceive with our senses? Or is there something more? Is there a soul? Is there free will? Or is it everything predetermined? And how about the very nature of time and space? Metaphysics dives into the foundational nature of reality. It's about what exists, what it means for something to exist, and the underlying structure of the universe. Think about questions like: does God exist? What is consciousness? Is there a purpose to the universe? These are all metaphysical inquiries trying to get to the very root of being. It's like a mental deep dive into the very fabric of existence. Next, we have epistemology. This branch is less about what exists and more about how we know it exists. How can you be truly certain of anything? Is knowledge something we discover or something we construct? And what's the difference between believing something and knowing it? Are your senses reliable or do they trick you? Epistemology is the study of knowledge. It asks, what is knowledge? How do we acquire it? What are its limits? Think about science. It's constantly questioning its methods of knowing. This branch explores everything from perception and memory to reasoning and evidence. It's essentially the philosophical quest to understanding the very process of understanding. Without epistemology, how would we ever know if our knowledge was truly justified? Moving on to a very practical and deeply human branch: ethics, also known as moral philosophy. What makes an action right or wrong? Are there universal moral truths? Or is morality always relative? And if you could do something terrible and get away with it, should you? What's the best way to live a good life? Ethics is the systematic study of morality. It investigates concepts like good and evil, right and wrong, virtue and vice, justice and crime. It's about how we ought to live, what our duties are, and what constitutes a good character. From the smallest personal decision to global policies, ethics provides frameworks for navigating complex moral dilemmas. It's about building a better world, one responsible decision at a time. Now, for the often unsung hero of philosophy: logic, which is not about what you think, but how we think correctly. How can you tell if an argument is truly sound or just sounds convincing? What's the difference between a good reason and a bad one? And can you ever argue with a computer? This branch is like the hidden operating system of rational thought. Logic is the study of correct reasoning. It investigates the principles of valid inference and demonstration. It helps us construct sound arguments, identify fallacies, and differentiate between strong and weak reasoning. Whether you're debating a point, writing a persuasive essay, or even just making a personal decision, logic is the toolkit that ensures your conclusions generally follow from your premises. It ensures your thoughts are organized and well connected. Now let's explore aesthetics. Yes, this is also in philosophy. Why does a particular song give you chills? What makes something beautiful, and is beauty subjective or universal? And can something be considered art if it's ugly or disturbing? This branch explores the very essence of human experience. Aesthetics is the philosophy of art and beauty. It explores the nature of art, beauty, taste, and creation. It asks the questions like, what is art? What is the purpose of art? What is the role of the artist? Why do we find certain things beautiful or sublime? It's about how we perceive, create, and judge the world through our senses and emotions, connecting us deeply to our human experience. These have been the core branches of philosophy. But philosophy's inquiries don't stop there. Next, we have the major branches that delve into the very tools that we use to understand and interact with the world. Let's talk about philosophy of language. How do words get their meaning? Can a sentence truly be false if it refers to nothing? And what happens when we misunderstood each other? Is it just miscommunication or a deeper philosophical issue with how language works? Can language even fully capture reality? This branch examines the nature of language, its relationship to reality, thought, and communication. It asks the question about meaning, truth, reference, and how language influences our understanding of the world. Think about how much your knowledge and interaction relies on words. This branch explores the very foundation of that ability. Next, we have philosophy of mind. This is a field that's exploding with relevance today. What is consciousness? Is your mind just your brain, or is there something more? Can a robot ever truly think or feel? And if we could perfectly simulate a brain, would you have a mind? Philosophy of mind investigates the nature of the mind, mental events, mental functions, mental properties, and consciousness, and their relationship to the physical body, especially the brain. It delves into sensations, perceptions, emotions, beliefs, and desires, trying to unravel the mystery of what it means to have a mind. Then there's philosophy of religion. Can faith and reason truly coexist? Is there logical proof for the existence of God or his non existence? And if God is all good and all powerful, why is there suffering in the world? What does it even mean to believe in a divine being? This branch examines the central questions surrounding religion, including the nature and existence of God, the problem of evil, the relationship between faith and reason, and the interpretation of religious experience and language. It approaches these questions not from a theological perspective, but using philosophical tools of logic and argumentation. Crucially, we also have philosophy of science. What truly separates science from pseudoscience? When can we have when can we say a scientific theory is proven? And how much can science really tell us about the ultimate nature of reality, beyond what we can observe and measure? Does science give us objective truth or just useful models? Philosophy of science explored the foundations, methods, and implications of science. It examines the nature of scientific theories, explanations, observation, and the relationship between scientific knowledge and objective truth. It helps us understand the strengths and limitations of the scientific method itself. And finally, a branch that impacts our lives directly, political philosophy. What makes a government legitimate? Is freedom always the highest good, or should safety sometimes take precedence? What do we owe to society, and what does society owe to us? And what would a truly just world actually look like? Political philosophy is the study of fundamental questions about the state, government, politics, liberty, justice, property, rights, law, and the enforcement of a legal code by authority. It asks, what makes a government legitimate? What rights and freedoms citizens have? And what duties they owe to a legitimate government? It's about designing the ideal society, understanding the principles that should guide our collective lives. So, as you can see, philosophy isn't some dusty, irrelevant subjects. It's the grand overarching framework for asking life's biggest questions, from the nature of existence to the way societies are organized. By understanding these branches, you gain a map to navigate the intellectual landscape and even understand your own thoughts better. Which of these 10 branches sparked your curiosity the most? Or what philosophical questions keep you up at night? Share your thoughts and questions in the comments below. Now, if you're into science, you may want to check out our video about the branches of science. Thank you for watching.